They say, laughter is the best medicine. Yet, sometimes, it is also a mask. Behind a smile, behind a joke, there can live a quiet storm. Anger does not always roar. It simmers, it smolders, it disguises itself in humor. Why do some people feel the need to laugh when their heart is heavy? Is it courage, or is it survival? In the silence between punchlines, there is a truth that is rarely spoken. A truth about fear, pain, and the hidden architecture of emotion. People who use humor to shield their anger are navigating a delicate dance, one that blends social acceptance, inner vulnerability, and self-preservation. In this exploration, we will peel back the layers. We will see what lies beneath the laughter, what the eyes and subtle gestures cannot hide, and we will reflect on what it truly means to hold anger quietly inside. Let's begin. On the surface, laughter feels simple. A joke lands, a room brightens, and people relax. But beneath the cadence of humor, there can be another rhythm, one shaped by tension, by anger held quietly, by feelings too fragile or too complicated to express openly. Have you ever laughed at something that didn't truly amuse you, only to notice a shadow linger in your chest? This is the subtle mark of hidden anger, veiled by humor. People who use humor to mask their anger often do so unconsciously. A smile becomes a shield, a witty remark, a sarcastic comment, a clever joke. These are not always invitations to joy. They can be quiet signals of frustration, a way to diffuse conflict without confronting it directly. It is as if the mind whispers, if they are laughing, I am safe. If they are laughing, they cannot see my anger. In daily life, this pattern can appear everywhere. A colleague laughs off criticism. A friend turns a personal grievance into a joke. Even in intimate relationships, laughter can soften tension, keeping anger just beneath the surface. The outward cheerfulness creates a social buffer, a temporary harmony. Yet internally, the emotion simmers. The very laughter meant to shield becomes a silent echo of suppressed feelings. Why do people choose this path? Partly because anger is often deemed unacceptable. Society teaches that expressing frustration is risky, unattractive, or threatening. Humor, however, is socially palatable, even admired. It transforms raw emotion into something digestible. A clever quip can hide a storm, making it invisible to others, and sometimes, to oneself. And yet, beneath these hidden smiles, lies a profound humanity. Anger, when veiled, is not weakness. It is an attempt at balance, a bridge between vulnerability and survival. It is the mind's quiet negotiation with reality, a soft shield against confrontation, judgment, or isolation. By noticing these smiles, by feeling the subtle tension beneath the laughter, we learn a new language of empathy. Perhaps the next time a joke lands, and laughter follows, you might pause and listen to the pause before the punchline, to the slight tension in the voice, to the quiet stories that humor alone cannot tell. Within these moments lies an understanding of the hidden self, the anger that hums softly beneath the surface, waiting only to be seen. Anger, like water trapped beneath rock, often finds its path through unexpected channels. For many, humor becomes that channel, a safe, socially acceptable outlet shaped long before adulthood. But where does this habit begin? Why do some people instinctively reach for laughter when frustration rises? The roots often run deep, tangled in early experiences, family dynamics, and unspoken lessons about emotion. From childhood, subtle messages are absorbed. Perhaps anger was met with disapproval, ridicule, or fear. Maybe expressing frustration invited punishment or withdrawal. Over time, the mind learns a quiet code: do not show anger, do not burden others, smile instead. Humor becomes a protective cloak, softening the edges of raw emotion. It is both survival and strategy, a way to maintain connection while keeping the storm contained. Social expectations further shape this pattern. In classrooms, workplaces, and friendships, those who laugh are embraced, those who frown are avoided. Humor signals approachability, emotional intelligence, and control. It is a language that allows one to navigate relationships while keeping inner turbulence hidden. In this sense, anger is not absent. It is redirected, woven into clever quips, witty retorts, and light-hearted sarcasm. Yet, the origins of this coping mechanism are rarely discussed. They are hidden in family dinners, playground interactions, and the quiet lessons of observation. Sometimes, humor masks not just anger, but fear, sadness, or feelings of inadequacy. It becomes a universal tool, bridging the inner world with external expectations, translating discomfort into socially acceptable signals. Understanding these roots does not demand judgment. Instead, it offers perspective, a way to see hidden patterns with compassion. Every joke, every laugh, becomes more than a surface-level expression. It is a whisper of past lessons, a reflection of learned survival. In this context, humor is not a betrayal of emotion, but a testament to resilience, creativity, and human adaptability. Perhaps now, when observing someone who laughs easily, you might pause to consider the history carried behind their smile. Every hidden anger, every veiled frustration, has a story, one shaped by environment, experience, and the quiet strategies we adopt to navigate a world that often misunderstands our feelings. Humor and anger, though seemingly opposite, share a curious and intricate connection. Science reveals that laughter is not merely entertainment, it is a biological response, a chemical dance within the brain that tempers the fire of frustration. When someone uses humor to hide anger, it is the mind's way of regulating intensity, of channeling emotion into something digestible, both for themselves and for the world around them. Neurologically, humor activates the brain's reward circuits, releasing dopamine and temporarily easing tension. At the same time, areas associated with cognitive control and emotional regulation engage, subtly dampening the physiological arousal that anger produces. The result is a paradoxical calm, outward levity masking inner turbulence. The joke, the sarcastic quip, the witty remark, these are not empty gestures. They are biological strategies evolved to help humans navigate complex social landscapes without harm. Psychology offers further insight. Humor functions as a coping mechanism, a defense against vulnerability and confrontation. When anger is socially unsafe to express, the mind learns to convert it into laughter. Sarcasm, self-deprecating jokes, or playful teasing can soften the edges of frustration, making it socially acceptable and less threatening. In essence, the brain translates raw emotion into socially coded signals, a hidden language of resilience. Yet, this process is not without consequence. Repeatedly masking anger through humor can create inattention, a quiet dissonance between felt experience and outward expression. The emotional energy does not vanish, it simply accumulates, waiting for release. This tension can manifest in subtle ways: restlessness, irritability, or the occasional too sharp joke that reveals the simmering truth. And still, there is elegance in this strategy. Humor allows for connection even in the presence of conflict. It is a bridge between self and society, an intelligent adaptation that keeps relationships intact while emotions are processed privately. The science of laughter is in many ways the science of survival, a negotiation between inner truth and outer expectation. Next time a friend, colleague, or loved one laughs when anger might be expected, consider the layers beneath the surface. Behind that humor lies an intricate balance of biology, psychology, and human adaptability, a dance between vulnerability and protection, emotion and expression, storm and calm. Beneath every laugh that masks anger, a quiet battle unfolds. The mind negotiates between what is felt and what is shown, creating a subtle tension that few notice, yet everyone experiences in their own way. Humor becomes both shield and chain, a delicate tool that protects while simultaneously binding the very emotion it seeks to conceal. Anger hidden behind laughter often sparks an internal dialogue. I cannot show this. I must appear calm. I must appear happy. These thoughts, repeated over time, carve invisible patterns in the psyche. The individual becomes fluent in duality: what is expressed and what is concealed, what is safe and what is dangerous to reveal. Every joke carries an unspoken question: will they understand me if I reveal the truth? Will I be accepted, or judged, or rejected? This inner conflict is not only cognitive, it is visceral. The body remembers suppressed fury through tightened muscles, shallow breaths, and restless energy. The laughter that escapes may be bright, but it carries a hidden weight. Eyes that twinkle with humor may also flicker with frustration. Words delivered in jest may echo unspoken resentments. The self becomes a theater, performing a script carefully crafted to preserve social harmony, while keeping anger quietly tucked away. Society amplifies this struggle. Cultural norms often discourage overt expression of negative emotions, especially anger. We are taught to smile, to deflect, to turn sharp edges into gentle humor. The cost is subtle yet profound. The dissonance between inner truth and outward expression becomes a constant companion. Emotional energy churns beneath the surface, seeking acknowledgement, release or understanding, yet often met only by polite laughter or silent avoidance. And yet, within this tension lies something deeply human. The conflict is not a flaw, it is a reflection of awareness, of care, of the desire to navigate relationships safely, while honoring personal experience. Humor in this context is an instrument of both protection and compromise, a bridge between the self and the world. Perhaps the next time laughter follows anger, or a joke lands where frustration is hidden, you might notice the subtle traces of this inner struggle. You may glimpse the quiet courage it takes to contain emotion, to perform empathy, and to survive socially while negotiating the turbulent currents of the heart. There comes a moment, often quiet, almost imperceptible, when the mask begins to shift. The laughter that once seemed effortless feels heavier. The jokes that once flowed like water reveal subtle tension beneath their surface. It is in this pause, this delicate breath, that awareness emerges. The realization that humor has been carrying more than amusement. It has been carrying anger, silently stored, carefully concealed. Recognition is never dramatic. It is not a sudden eruption, but a gentle illumination. Perhaps it comes in a reflection, a thought, a fleeting discomfort, or an observation of oneself in a mirror of social interaction. Why do I laugh when I am frustrated? The mind wonders. Why does my smile sometimes feel hollow? These questions, tender and probing, mark the beginning of insight. Psychologists describe this as metacognition, thinking about one's own thinking. For those who use humor to hide anger, this moment of self-awareness can be both unsettling and liberating. The jokes are no longer just expressions, they are signals. Patterns once invisible begin to emerge. Timing, tone, word choice, all reflecting an intricate dialogue between what is felt and what is displayed. The realization is simple yet profound. Anger need not be erased to be acknowledged. Socially, this awareness allows subtle shifts. Conversations, interactions, and responses take on new depth. The individual begins to notice triggers, the fine line between genuine humor and protective laughter. There is curiosity, not judgment. Observation replaces automatic reaction, and with observation comes choice, not to eliminate humor, but to allow it to coexist with authentic emotion. Emotionally, this realization is a quiet liberation. It is the first step toward reconciliation with oneself. The mind begins to see that anger is not a threat to social connection, nor is it a sign of failure. It is simply an emotion deserving of acknowledgement and understanding. Humor, once a shield, becomes a bridge, connecting inner truth to outward expression, blending safety with authenticity. Perhaps you have experienced this yourself, a fleeting awareness that the laughter you offer or receive carries a deeper story. In that moment, the veil lifts slightly, and the self is seen, not only by others, but by you. The moment of realization is gentle, yet powerful, offering the first glimpse of emotional freedom, and the courage to hold both humor and anger in the same hand. Understanding the dance between humor and anger opens a new horizon, one of integration and gentle self-compassion. The mind begins to see humor not merely as a mask, but as a messenger. Every laugh, every witty remark, carries meaning beyond surface amusement. When anger and humor coexist consciously, a quiet balance emerges, a space where authenticity and social grace meet. Integration begins with observation. You notice the patterns without judgment. You see how humor has long been a tool for survival, a bridge between inner turbulence and outward harmony. Each joke that once concealed frustration is now a reflection of adaptive intelligence, a testament to the mind's capacity to navigate complex emotional landscapes. There is no shame in this recognition, only acknowledgement of human resilience. Compassion follows naturally, for oneself and for others. Recognizing that humor can veil anger encourages empathy, a gentle understanding that every hidden smile carries a story. Relationships deepen, not through the eradication of protective humor, but through the acceptance of both the laughter and the emotion it conceals. You may discover that anger, once silent and isolating, can coexist with connection, expressed in measured, safe ways. This integration is subtle, yet profound. It transforms inner conflict into insight, tension into understanding, Humor retains its brilliance, now enhanced by self-awareness. Anger, once hidden, is no longer imprisoned. Acknowledged, it becomes a teacher rather than a threat. The mind learns that holding space for both lightness and intensity is not only possible, but natural. In daily life, this awareness manifests in small, delicate ways. A joke is offered, and you feel its dual nature. A friend's sarcasm is met with curiosity instead of irritation. Moments of frustration are recognized and honored, yet expressed with thoughtfulness. The self feels more coherent, emotions more fluid, and social interactions richer in texture and truth. Perhaps the most transformative aspect is the compassion extended inward. You allow yourself to feel anger without fear. You honor the humor that has protected you. The mind, heart, and body find alignment, a quiet symphony of understanding. In this space, laughter is not a mask, it is a companion, a storyteller, a reflection of resilience and adaptability. There is a quiet beauty in the coexistence of laughter and anger. Like a river carrying both sediment and light, the mind holds humor and frustration side by side, each shaping the flow of experience. The jokes that once shielded now illuminate, revealing patterns, fears, and strengths. Anger, once hidden beneath playful words, becomes a companion rather than a burden, a signal of care, boundaries, and human depth. Consider the people around you, the ones who laugh first and feel later. Perhaps you recognize yourself in these smiles. Each laugh is a bridge, each quip a whisper of unspoken truths. In noticing, in understanding, a gentle awareness arises, a recognition that human emotion is complex, layered, and deserving of both acknowledgement and compassion. There is no flaw in holding both humor and anger. There is only life, in all its subtlety and grace. If this video made you feel seen, if parts of this reflection felt familiar, if something quiet inside you was touched, know that you are not alone. These patterns are human, and your experience is valid. You are allowed to hold humor and anger together, to honor both, to navigate the world with gentle awareness. If you'd like to stay connected, this channel is a place where we explore the hidden corners of the human heart, a quiet space for reflection, understanding, and empathy. Sharing your thoughts is optional, but your words may help someone else feel less alone. Take care of yourself. You deserve gentleness. You deserve to heal.